It was supposed to be like a short EP, just a couple of songs around our single, Then Christ Came. And the more we kept working on it, it all of a sudden became like a full-length album. And in May, I had this idea that I wanted to redo an old hymn for a couple of reasons. One is, I got 5 kids, and the idea that I had, the melody and everything, there were 2 songs that would fit it specifically. One was I Surrender All, the other was Nothing But the Blood of Jesus. I chose Nothing But the Blood of Jesus. And, I didn't know it was, we have a winner. And so in May, I was very adamant to the guys, this has to be the most beautiful thing that we can possibly create. It's gonna be the last song on the album, and man, I just want to put our heart and soul in this and just take it to another level. I want it to be so gorgeous. And it was very, very important to me. I couldn't explain to you why, but it was a big deal. Well, in July, my mother passed away. And it's been a hard summer, to say the least. It's one of the only times in my life where I ever prayed that it would be tonight, because she was suffering so much. And I had the joy to go back to Texas and be with her for about a month before she passed away. And there were some beautiful moments, but it was hard, to say the least. And I remember after she passed away, I mentioned something on social media, and then I made the mistake of reading comments. And that no one was really, everybody meant well, and there were some incredibly kind things that were said, but sometimes you realize that maybe we don't know what to say, because one of the comments was, well, at least she'll get a good song out of it. Yeah, right? Now, they meant well, so I wasn't really upset, a little bothered, but they meant well. And gosh, I hope they're not here tonight. But I always thought, man, I was like, man, that's not even how it works. I'm not sitting there waiting to write a song. And you know, and it kind of got to me a little bit. And this is a great example of why we probably should just keep our mouths shut and keep making casseroles. Lots and lots of casseroles. But I do remember reading that going, and the first thought was, well, I'm not going to write a song now. That's what came to mind. And so we kind of worked through all of that, still processing, obviously. And in August, we started to go back to work on the album. And we were starting to receive the final mixes back, which is where we'll sit in the studio and listen to the final mixes and give our approval so we can send it on to the label. I remember one night we were listening to Nothing But the Blood. We got it back, and it turned out so beautifully. I was just so proud of it. And during that moment, I got a text from my brother, who's 5 years older, lives in Texas, where my mom was. And he was going through her stuff. Now, my wife sent this book to my mom and my in-laws, my wife's parents, about 15, 20 years ago. And it was a book trying to capture their memories. And so like one page would say, what was your first date like? And they'll just tell their story. It's really amazing. And my brother came across the book, and he sent me a text, and it's where he added his own question. It said, which is your favorite son? And she, being the mom that she was like, if this is Stephen, then it's Stephen. If it's Bart, then it's Bart. And I noticed above that there was another question that said, what's your favorite song? And she said, well, if it's Bart, it's I Can Only Imagine. She said, if it's not Bart, it's Nothing But the Blood of Jesus. And I just started sobbing, listening to the song. And, you know, I can't explain why I was so adamant that it'd be the best thing that we could possibly do and the most beautiful song back in May. But now I know why. So this is Nothing But the Blood.